Hey, hey, hey. You guys, the reason why I came on today was because I had a dream last night. But before I get into the dream, I want to get on the topic of discussion of Joseph today. Joseph had many dreams, and in those dreams, he lost the fact that he didn't have the full understanding that the very dreams that he had were to come into fruition. They were coming into life, and they were springing forth very quickly. He lost full concentration of that, or well, I'm not going to say he did not have an understanding of what it was that God was birthing in him. And as quickly as he dreamed it, it sprung forth. And even in the midst of having that dream, expressing his dreams with his father and with his brothers and around his mother, verbally telling them those dreams, and then later on watching those dreams come forth, Joseph still did not understand that God was birthing things in him. And God would allow him to see it first, and then it would spring forth. Even in the midst of seeing that, Joseph still tried to fight against the process. How did he try to fight against the process? By once his brothers had already ordered for him to be sold off into slavery, he still looked for man to protect him. He still looked for his brothers to fight for him. But he didn't realize that when God had said something and when God had caused something to come forth, even once he dreamed it, he saw it, he visioned it, he still didn't understand that it had to come to pass. So with him fighting the process, guess what? It still didn't stop God's hand from moving. It still didn't stop the very thing that God had ordered to transpire and to come forth. Somebody out here today, you have to step aside. Don't fight. Let it go and let God take care of it, because he has you. So anyway, with the dream, and all of this is going to all add up. But with the dream I had last night, I was going back to the doctor for a follow-up because I had given birth, and I guess it was 6 weeks later, and it was time for me to go to the doctor for the follow-up. And so I made it. And I didn't even get to the point when I went back to the back to see the doctor, all that stuff. I made it out from the back, and I was in the front, standing out, and I was facing and leaning on the window, where the nurse sits to type your information in. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my doctor. She's talking to me and she's looking at me and she's saying, shall I release you to go back to work? And so she said it again. Shall I release you to go back to work? And so while she said that, and she got quiet for a moment because she was over there thinking, in my mind, I was saying, please say no, please say no, please say no, please say no. And she said, you know what? I'm releasing you to go back to work. And the way I was feeling in that moment, I was feeling like I'm comfortable. What? I know I just birthed something new, but I'm not ready to go back to work. I'm comfortable right where I am. And so God is saying for most of us out here today that he's birthing a new thing. You have to be ready to move when he says move. And even when you don't know all the details, you still must trust him. God is causing you to come out of a place of comfort. It's time for you to walk out into the unknown and to trust that God has the way made. This door that is open is a door that's meant just for you. And there is no devil in hell. There is no enemy that can take that door away from you. God has purposed everything in your life that tried to take you out and that tried to push you into pit to happen to bring you right here to this moment. You had to go to the pressure because the positions that God is placing us into today, there can be no weakness. There can be no shortcoming. There can be no giving up. There can be no settling attitude. We have to be ready to walk into the new things and be bold and trust in God to make a way when there seems to be none. And when we don't know everything, in that time when you feel like this is too much, you can't handle it, trust God to fill you in along the way. He will. He loves you. Trust me, he does. He cares for you so much more than you will ever understand. And he will not throw you out there and not cause things to come into fruition as he has already ordered it to. Trust the process. Don't fight. Let God be God and get out of that comfort zone. You're in a place right now you can't stay. And this is regarding your job. This is regarding your place of living. You have gotten too comfortable. It's time for you to get up and move forward. And God says when that process takes place, don't look back. Because what's behind you is behind you. All that is ahead for you is new things, new things, new things. You have already made it past the birthing, and that is enough. The birth is here. Let God cause it to come into full fruition and leave everything else behind. Be blessed. Have a good day.